on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our second segment. But before we do that, I'd like to ask you again to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read in the air, please use the link, gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. And let's get back into the show for today. All right, so moving into our second segment here, which is talking about the other pretty significant trade from last night, which is going over A.J. Puk and his trade to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Let's get into it. Now, Puk was someone I was monitoring throughout this deadline. I thought he was going to be a really valuable piece of the Marlins, and of course, their exercise in blowing this entire team up. And obviously, that was what happened last night when it broke that he was being traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks. So, Puk has had a really interesting season this year. Came over a few years ago from Oakland, being traded for former fourth overall pick J.J. Bleday, who really never worked out in Miami. Puk was kind of the same regard, a former top draft pick in Oakland, really just never worked out there, and maybe being traded to Miami, a place that had developed so many pitchers who we thought careers were over, would really help out him. Now, they tried him as a starting pitcher this year, which went absolutely horrible. I mean, as awful as it can get. I mean, he was as bad can be. They moved him back to the bullpen rather quickly, and just like last year when he was there, he really, really shined. Became a plus relief pitcher for this Marlins team, also a lefty, which of course adds value. So it was very obvious, I think, from the moment that he did so well in the bullpen that he was going to be traded, and that is what ended up happening here. The Marlins traded him to the Diamondbacks last night for a few prospects, but most notably, I believe I'm pronouncing his name right. If not, I apologize. Davision De Los Santos, who immediately slots in as the number 4 overall prospect for this Marlins team. Now, I really like this trade for both teams, but let's get into it. So, first off, I'm going to start off with Arizona. Again, A.J. Puk, since becoming a bullpen arm, has really, really shoved this Marlins team, has become a plus guy, and I think really fills a skill set for this Diamondbacks team that they needed. I think that bullpen has been a problem for them for the past 2 years now, was last year in the playoffs as well, and Paul Sewald has been a really nice addition since coming over from Seattle, the last year's deadline, but has struggled a little bit, and I think they also have had some trouble bridging the gap of getting to Sewald. I think that the 7th, 8th innings have become a little bit rough for this Diamondbacks bullpen, and being able to add A.J. Puk, a guy who's not only a good lefty reliever, but is under control, and I would also say has some potential still in that arm. I mean, he has electric stuff, so it's not exactly like you're just getting him and he's going to stay the same. No, I think with this Diamondbacks pitching staff and all the pitching coaches they have, they'll be able to develop him more. Brent Strom, who is the Diamondbacks pitching coach, is in my opinion the best in the business. Has done so well with Arizona has done so well with Houston over the past few years. Came to Arizona. I think really can maybe develop some more out of Puk and really make him an elite relief pitcher. I really like this trade a lot for Arizona. I think the price you get was a little steep, which I'll talk about when going over the Marlins side of this, but I think that Puk is a really, really nice reliever to add to this pen, brings a lot of depth to this team, and I think was a really, really fantastic move by Arizona to be able to get him and add him to this already pretty deep pitching staff. And, the Diamondbacks are a very interesting team to watch for the future. Aren't in the best situation right now. I believe are on the outside looking in of the playoffs. Are very close, though. But, you're getting back Jordan Montgomery soon, Eduardo Rodriguez, Merrill Kelly, Brandon Pfaadt still there. Zach Gallen came back a little while ago and has been really solid. So you're getting back all these pieces. I'm sure the hitting will start to get better soon. Corbin Carroll mainly is the guy I'm talking about. And I think adding is the best decision. And adding in a younger arm like Puk, who has control, who can build with this team for the future, adding him into this bullpen, I think was a really, really good move. I like this move a lot for Arizona, and I think they're going to continue to get better for the rest of the season. I predicted them to make the playoffs a little while back when I did do my playoff predictions. So, again, I think this is a fantastic move by Arizona, and I really like what they were able to do. And I think there's still some needs that have to be met for this team, but if this is any indication that they're going to add, it's very clear that that is what's going to happen, and they're going to continue to add until it gets to August 1st. Sorry about that. Had to cough there. So, going over this trade from Miami, again, it was very obvious that Puk was going to be traded from Miami. He is a very good player who, isn't a position player. So it was very obvious that he was going to be traded from this Miami Marlins team because he's a good player and the Marlins are trying to blow this team up. In this trade, the Marlins receive, again, Davision De Los Santos, who immediately slots in as their 4th best prospect in the entire organization. And my personal thoughts are, I think this is a fantastic trade by Miami. I read an article today, I believe, from Andy Martino, who covers the Mets and Yankees, who said that teams really did not like this haul back for the Marlins. They thought it was a little light. But honestly, I know they know more than me, but I would really disagree to the fullest. De Los Santos is a prospect that I love. I think has a ton of potential, and I think was a really good job of getting him back for a relief arm. Division has a 40 hit grade, a 60 power grade, an arm grade of 50, and overall is a 50. But really with him, you're looking at this power. I mean, he's going to be up next year, most likely. I'd say maybe even the end of this year, that he's going to slot in immediately as a first base, third baseman, or DH on this team. And he has a lot of power as a young player. Has insane stats this year at AA, hit 372 with an OPS of 1.122, which is absolutely insane. Went up to AAA then, and then hit 289 and an OPS of 926. 926. So Division is a guy who is a younger player, so there's a lot of potential with the power bat, and I think really was a fantastic job by this Marlins team to be able to add him into this organization by just giving up a middle relief arm. Really not giving up someone of high caliber prospect wise. I think Puck is a very solid, good player, and I like the trade for Arizona, but I think that getting him for Miami was a really, really good job. If Division is a top 100 prospect by the end of this year or by the start of next year, I really would not be surprised. And again, I think this is someone who immediately is going to come up with this Miami team and really become an X factor with them. I think he can be up the end of this year and really help out this team. I think he'll be on the opening day roster next year no matter what, and really slot in as a young, talented player to offer here. I really like this trade with Miami. I think they did a lot. I think they did a lot of good here in this trade, getting back Division, a guy that I think is a really, really solid and good prospect back in this organization. Overall, I think this is honestly a really, really big of a win-win trade here for both these teams. I think that for Miami, you're getting back a very good prospect who slots in immediately as one of the premier guys in your organization for a guy who just simply wasn't a big part of your future in AJ Puck. Arizona now is giving up a very good prospect, but they have a lot of good prospects in the organization as well, like Jordan Lawler. So it's not exactly like you're taking a huge chunk out of your prospect system, and you're giving up a good guy, but again, you're getting a good player in AJ Puck who has shown to be a very solid reliever for these past few months now since going back to the bullpen, who is really going to add a lot to this Arizona pen, really help out with the depth there, and is really going to help to bridge the gap to get to your star closer in Paul Sewald. So I think this is a classic win-win trade. I think both teams did really well in this, and I really like the outcome. Now, Miami is going to be, of course, very, very interesting to watch for this deadline. I mean, they are probably going to be the most active team here at this deadline. I mean, they have so many players they could trade. I mean, you of course have Jazz Chisholm, Josh Bell, Jake Berger, Brian De La Cruz. I'm not sure if I said Jazz Chisholm yet, but if I didn't, there you go. I'm not sure again if I said Jake Berger, but there you go. Trevor Rogers is also someone that I could see getting traded. Tanner Scott as well is someone. Other middle relief arms as well, like Andrew Nardi. So this Marlins team is really going to blow up this team within the next few days or so, and I think trading Puck is the start of it. Of course, you traded Luis Arias back as well, which really showed the first signs of this. So, yeah, the Marlins are really, in my opinion, going to be the most active team at this deadline. They're going to make a lot of moves, and I'm very excited to see what this Marlins roster looks like after this week. There's going to be a lot of moves made. There's a lot of valuable assets they have in this team, and I think, again, trading Puck is really the start of that. I like what they did in this first trade. I like the way Peter Bendix is rebuilding this team. He's not going just halfway in. He's trying to go fully in and trying to be able to say, you know what, this team isn't good enough. We're fully rebuilding. We're not teetering in the middle. We're not becoming mediocre. We're becoming bad to become good in the next few years. And I really like what he's doing. I do think there are some good people within this Marlins organization that you can build around and continue to build around, even with all these guys being traded. So that was our second segment here, talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks trading for AJ Puck of the Marlins. We'll be moving into our third segment, which is going to be talking about the Giants and their trade deadline and the news that they are probably going to become sellers at this deadline. So yeah, we'll be talking about that, and we'll see you after the break. So thanks, and bye.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network